Now, South Africa is on tenterhooks ahead of President Cyril Ramaphosa's address tomorrow. This, of course, follows explosive allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. I'm now joined by political analyst Dr Ntsikelelo Breakfast from the Nelson Mandela University on what we could expect from the president amid growing calls for action. A very good evening to you, Dr. Breakfast. It's a couple of hours to go before we are addressed in that what's been dubbed as a family meeting. Considering these growing calls for the minister, including the Deputy Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya, to be sacked, would you say that these are justified calls considering who made these allegations toward them and that he is a senior member of the police, in fact, the police commissioner of that province?
Yeah, so my view is twofold. On the one hand, I think it's early days to confirm the validity of the claims that were made by the KZN commissioner. On the other hand, I think one can confirm the brokenness of SAPS. A case in point is, for instance, if you pick and choose, let's say for argument's sake, 5 police stations, I can bet my bottom dollar at random, you will uncover a whole lot more that is out of line. So based on that, I'm fully convinced, even based on the research that I have undertaken, even myself as someone who's leading a center on security, there are issues in SAPS. So the president has to address us as a nation and cool us off, because you must have seen what has happened in KZN. People have taken it to the streets in opposition to the stuff that has been happening in SAPS. And also there are other calls that people must do something, because the people who hold highest offices, it's not the politicians, it's us as the citizens of this country. We hire and we fire. So if politicians do not honor the commitments that they made to us, I think we need to do something as well. So yes, the president is going to address us tomorrow, but I think also civil society and ordinary citizens, they also need to do something.
Now, you say that the president needs to cool us off. What will it take for the nation to be cooled off, considering the rampant crime levels and just the outcry following that press briefing last week as well? What should he get onto that podium and say that you think will cool South Africans off and also restore public confidence in the SAPS?
Without playing the cart before the horse, but my view is that he needs to do something. For instance, I think he can put the minister in question on special leave pending the investigation regarding the claims that have been made, in order to uncover the truth and then make a call in terms of whether is it going to keep him or not. But if he, you see, the challenge that I have with the president is that President Ramaphosa, in my opinion, he speaks very well, but he has a history of taking sides when there is a fallout between, let's say, the subordinates that report to him. For instance, there was a fallout between the National Commissioner, Esitole, and former Minister Cele. In my opinion, he did not handle that issue very well. He took sides there. I think he was just being a politician, but he does that at the expense of the country, because he comes across to be concerned about holding on to power, and he responds like a typical a politician. So I'm not very much optimistic that tomorrow he's going to act in good faith unless he has a change of heart.
You know, listening to him deliver the eulogy today at the former deputy president's funeral, he said it's a time to be honest, it's a time for sacrifice, it's a time to reflect. And then he went on to say, we're not always what we claim to be. Too many say we are honest in what we say, but become less honest in what we do. Now, also considering the revelations this week that Senzo Mchunu, the Minister of Police, did seemingly lie to Parliament about his association with the person in question, Brown Mokgotsi, do you think statements like that, we don't always claim who we say we are, we don't say or do what we... Do you think it's almost a hint to what to expect for tomorrow?
Partly yes and partly no, because President Ramaphosa, he speaks very well. He can make a very good speech, but sometimes it's all talk and no action. So I think it's going to take more than making a good speech to cool us off as a nation, because this has broken the trust between the citizens and security officers, police officers in particular. So he needs to do something, because this is not only a matter pertaining to the national security of the country, but this is also a matter pertaining to human security. So it's a security matter. And the nexus between security and development and so on. So it's also a question of development, because if the people who are tasked to look after the economy are not up to scratch, are not trustworthy, then we have a problem.
Quite often after a scandal, it is followed by a commission of inquiry. We've seen time and time again lots of money being pumped into commissions of inquiry, but time and time again, very little coming out of it in terms of those being held accountable and seeing arrests actually take place too. Should the president address us tomorrow and tell us that there'll be another commission of inquiry into this, how do you think South Africans will react to that?
I don't think that will achieve its intended objective in terms of cooling us off. That is going to agitate us to the core. It really make us to do something as the citizens, because people are very much concerned about the state of affairs. So I think that will be very unwise. He will have to break the news and tell us that he has taken a particular a decision. I think the only way out at the moment will be to put the minister on special leave. I think by so doing, he can sort of like de-escalate the conflict between us and the police officers. But yeah, he has to do something. But if he says he's going to institute an investigation, there is too much evidence about what is happening within SAPS. So he can, institute a committee that will look at this and that, but it should not take donkey years. We don't want to wait until the cows come back home, if ever they will come back home.
Yep, well, we will be waiting with bated breath. Thank you so much, Dr. Breakfast, for giving us your insights on this matter.